Guys, let's talk about yet another common problem with the PACCAR engine. Let's get into it. Alright, so first what you got to understand about a diesel engine is they're extremely high compression, have extremely high compression ratio compared to a gas engine. So what happens is, in the combustion chamber, so much pressure, a lot of it goes through the piston rings down into the crankcase. And they call it blow-by. Obviously it's blowing by the piston rings, gets down into the crankcase. So what you need is a crankcase ventilation system, because you don't want too much pressure in your crankcase and oiling system. I'm not going to get into it. It's bad for the oiling system and everything, but just for reasons for this video, understand that it's bad for the engine. Somewhere that air and pressure needs to go. But the problem with that is there's so much oil sloshing around the engine that if you just have a vent in the top of the engine and a tube that goes down, like all the old engines, what happens is it's the reason why there's so much oil down here at the bottom of the parking spaces and along the road. For environmental reasons, what we have is called a crankcase ventilation filter. And it's down around here. There's a little tube that goes down here and it extracts the air from the valve cover, or rocker cover for a diesel engine they call it, and the crankcase, and it ventilates and it filters, more importantly, and then vents it out into the atmosphere without all that oil residue and everything getting on the ground, into the air, or whatever it may be. And so that's basically what it is. It's down here, it's a common problem, and what happens is it gets clogged up and then your crankcase can't ventilate properly. It's about a 4-hour procedure. I had it done at Peterbilt. I'd recommend you getting it done at Peterbilt because it's way down here below the ECM, and it's pretty hard to get to. So I'd have a professional mechanic do it, in my opinion, because I watched him do it and it's pretty intricate. But anyway, at about 400,000 miles is generally when it starts getting clogged and goes bad. It'll cause a check engine light, and where you get that check engine light for either crankcase ventilation or ventilation filter, it may be. Just know it has to be changed. It's very bad for the engine if you can't. So some of you that might not be into diesel engines, may not be an over-the-road truck driver, if you guys ever heard of a catch can on a turbo car, race car, high compression, naturally aspirated engine, that's basically what it is. You know, you're trying to get the same principle as with a diesel engine. You're just trying to get that ventilation out of the crankcase so the oil can circulate properly and everything. And you want to filter it out so you're not just blowing air either. In the case of a gasoline engine, back into the intake, and then you got oil going through there. That's what modern cars do, but most modern cars have such little blow-by that just putting it in the intake is not that big of a deal. But a lot of race cars and everything have higher compression, whatever, they're running a higher RPM than generally a regular street car, so they put a catch can for a filter on there. And yeah, that's, if you don't know what blow-by is on diesel, but you know what a catch can is, it's the exact same principle.